If you are the type of person who gets up out of bed in the morning and cannot wait to hit the gym, cannot wait to eat the meals you have set out for you throughout the day, and has that true passion, that true drive to improve yourself, get in better shape every single day, then this video is not for you. But chances are, if you clicked on this video, given the title, you're not quite at that point yet. Maybe you've built a little progress, but you still don't feel super confident. You still don't feel like people notice you when you walk into a room. So for you guys, this video is going to be extraordinarily valuable. I don't like to sell myself too much. I make videos every single day and do not miss. But this video is going to be my most valuable video ever because it's my exact system that I took an entire day to break down to prepare to record this video that I'm recording now. So sit back, please take notes, implement this, and only when you implement this, it will become valuable. With no further ado, let's get straight into it right now. So I have written, love the gym in less than 60 days. Now let me preface and start by saying loving the gym and having a passion for getting in shape is absolutely essential. That's the number one misconception that I see here on social media, or I even see with coaches in real life, is they try to make you do things that you hate and build up this discipline for doing something you don't like. That is one of the most unsustainable ways. That is one of the biggest ways to weed out 90% of the people who ever even had potential to go to the gym. You have to understand that the human body does seek comfort, and we have so much of it in today's life. You think if I get a room of 100 people who want to start lifting, and I tell all 100 of them, just go every day for 2-3 years. That's what I did, by the way. Go every day for 2-3 years, hate every minute of it, and you'll eventually love it. What percentage of that people is actually going to consistently change their life? None of them. And if you are still stuck in that rut, that's probably why. Because you've been getting horrible advice. Because you've never been taught how to build a true love, a true passion for the gym. And I haven't even been able to really teach that except to my personal clients. I haven't been able to put out a system here on YouTube until today. But if we want to help people build passions, if I want you to relay my energy, if I want you to be able to feel the love that I have for the gym just after watching this video, we have to define what passion is. Passion. Now, if you look it up on Google, you get some like foo-foo definition that I don't like. So I'm going to define it very simply for you guys. Now, here is my definition. The ability to consistently perform a task plus not hate life while doing so. That is what a true passion is. Passion is not some genetic thing that some people were predestined to become amazing lifters. You know what I'm saying? Some people were born with this place in their heart that's going to get them in great shape. No, because that's not fair. And life is a very fair place. Passion is something that anybody can build. I don't care if you hate lifting. That's the entire reason I make these videos, is because my transformation from hating to loving the game, it's inspiring to me, and I think it can actually change your guys' life. Because when I started lifting, I started in this very basement. That's why I have that flag right here, because this was my first iron paradise. I had some weights off Facebook Marketplace that I'm looking at. They're over there right now. A bench that was literally this wide, like this part of my back was covered. It was so hard to bench. Everything about it was rusty, it was gross, it smelled weird. It was horrible, and I hated it. But I did that consistently for 2 years while hating it. And I think that's rare. I do not think most people can do that. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but knowing what I know now, if I knew that I was going to end up loving it, I would have just sped forward and been like, oh, how do I start loving it in 60 days instead of 600 days? And it's very simple. And I'm going to break down exactly how to do that right now. Now, let me also add in here, I said simple, not easy. There is a key difference between simple and easy. Easy means you don't have to put in any effort, it kind of just happens. Simple means you have to put in the effort, but the exact steps you need to take day in and day out are going to be there right for you. And if you have a brain and God gave you the ability to walk, see, hear, and have the 5 senses, you'll be able to implement this into your life if you put effort in. And this is my personal method, like I said, that I crafted for you guys. It took me all day, and it's a very simple name. And the reason I tell you the name and named it is because it makes it easier to remember, but the name is going to be called the Bad Method. Now, why is it called the Bad Method? This is not some influencer BS naming marketing term. It's called the Bad Method because there's 3 parts of it, and BAD are the parts, so relax. The Bad Method. What is the Bad Method? The Bad Method is based off the foundation that true passion is built off of 3 separate things. And I've broken this down in my life, and I honestly cannot find anything wrong with this method. If you guys disagree in the comments, let me know. But this is pretty bulletproof to what passion actually is, and there's some pretty cool pieces to this method as well. Passion comes from your heart. Think about your heart as this triangular prism. Imagine when you shine black and white light through a triangular prism. You guys know that picture, it's on the Pink Floyd album. They shine black like light through the prism, and it refracts like a rainbow on the other side. That's what passion is. You're taking something bland, boring, and monotonous, you're putting it through your prism, which is your heart, right? And you're making it cool in your own way. You're making it something that it's not to you. It's building that passion, building that true love for it. But we actually have pieces of this triangle, and I'm going to show you how to build this triangle for yourself. So the B is going to come at the top of the triangle, and B stands for belief. If I spelled it wrong, whatever, you get the point. Spelling is not my strong suit. Belief is at the top of the triangle. You cannot achieve passion for anything if you do not believe the goal in mind you have is possible. First and foremost, number 1, everything stems from if you believe it can happen or not. Plain and simple. The second part of the triangle, we get to the A section, is going to be action. There are certain actions you have to take day in and day out, no matter what, to achieve any goal. I don't care if you believe 100% that, whatever, if you believe 100% you'll have a six-pack in 30 days. And that's great if you believe that, you're much more likely to get there. But if you don't take any actions, obviously nothing's gonna happen. This is not some BS about just believing yourself or manifesting. No, it takes multiple parts. So the belief and the action. What's cool about this triangle is it actually creates dualities on each side that form different things. So we have passion, or love / passion, here in the middle. We have belief and action over here. But belief and action actually create their own side tangent, as all the sides are going to once I add the third one. Belief and action side tangent, if you believe in something so strongly and you take the actions necessary to get there, what is that called? If any of you guys guessed that, put it in the comments. But that is called discipline. That's how you build discipline. That's why discipline is a scam, because you're missing a third of what it takes to actually get consistent at something. Discipline is only part of these two. While still useful, it's not the full triangle. It is not the full picture. So you have belief and action. You believe you will get the six-pack. You take the actions every day to get that six-pack. Will that get you a six-pack? Not consistently. Here's why. You're missing out on the D. Can anybody guess what the D is? And this completes the triangle, by the way, but D stands for drive. Now, what is drive? How is that different from the other two? Belief, it's a mindset. You'll get there, which is hard. We'll get into that, but you get there. Action is things you do day out every single day. Drive is the ability to get it done and maintain the other two sides of the triangle day in and day out with the actions when you don't want to, in the overarching dog mentality. Having drive is like the people that call themselves a dog. It's the people that have drives. If you have the belief in action, but you're not a dog deep in your heart, you might not get there every time. If you combine all 3 of these, you can achieve anything you want, anything ever. That's how I got 18-inch arms. I'm bigger than I look on camera. But what's cool about this too is that the belief and the action have their own duality. Belief and drive and action also have their own dualities too, that complete the triangle. So first, to restate before I mark those down, belief is the foundation. Belief is the building blocks. I don't care what you implement into your life. I don't care if you go on a 1,000-calorie deficit every single day. If you don't truly believe that's going to do anything for you, you're not going to stay consistent. You're not going to build a passion. You're going to hate it because you're going to think that you're putting in work for nothing. It's, if you compare it to back in 100, 200, 300, 400 years ago, when probably more than that, but when you had to go hunt for food, right? If you did not believe there were any deer within 100 miles of you, how consistently are you really going to hunt for deer? See what I'm saying? You have to have that belief. Something in the universe had to communicate with you, whether you heard one, whether you saw one 6 months ago, something like that. Something in the universe has to communicate to you that what you're doing is possibly going to reap you some sort of benefit. And then the action. Let's use the same example. I can believe that there's deer everywhere, but if I don't get my ass up off my bed and go actually search for the deer day in, day out, every single day, am I really gonna have dinner? Am I really gonna have something to eat? No. Or if I don't, a modern example, what I teach guys, I tell my guys, hey, if you don't actually stick to calorie deficit or you don't mark out some foods that you really like to eat, you don't do something that's gonna mentally advance you or physically advance you towards your goal, you're not gonna get there. And then the drive. The days when you do not feel like doing things, the days when maybe your belief is lacking just a little bit, or maybe your actions didn't fill up the glass all the way in the realm of consistency, right? That's where the drive comes in. You are a dog, so you get it done anyway. You have mouths to feed, so you get it done. You understand? And I'm going to teach you how to build up all these things in just a minute. I'm going to do it quickly as well, but hold your horses because we still have more to go over. So if I want to teach you guys exactly how to do this, I have to teach you guys exactly what all these synergistic effects create. Remember, belief and action create discipline. Let's go to the bottom of the triangle here. What do drive and action create together? Drive and action it's a very synergistic effect. If you take actions every single day and then you also have the drive to keep getting it done, that creates consistency. Is one of the obviously key things to building a passion. And that's why I put it at the bottom of the triangle too, because it underlines everything else in a physical sense, underlines everything else above it. Consistency is something that you absolutely have to have. Consistency is something that I absolutely had when I was having my journey. And I was able to do that without some of the other pieces right away. But now I have this full triangle filled in my lifting journey, so to speak. Consistency is the cornerstone. Getting things done day in and day out is the cornerstone. And drive, the dog mentality and the actions that bring you there, that creates consistency, right? If I know what I'm supposed to do every single day, no matter what, and then I got that spirit inside me that keeps me going, bam! I keep sharpening my axe and chopping the wood day in, day out. That creates consistency. But we're still missing one piece. And that piece lies between drive and belief. Drive and belief creates probably my favorite part, probably the best feeling part of this triangle. So if you stayed to this part of the video, congratulations, you're getting the most value. Belief and drive create something very simple, something we can all feel every single day. Belief and drive create energy. When you fully believe in yourself and you mix that with the fact that you day out, no matter what, you are always going to show up because you have that spirit inside you, right? And you believe in yourself at the same time, that creates energy. That is what gets you the spirit to get up out of bed, like I talked about at the beginning of this video, to get your butt up out of bed and boom, explode into the day. To be able to sit up out of bed, stand up, do some push-ups, go downstairs, open your Bible, do whatever you do in the morning, right? And boom, get after it every single day. This is what I'm working on applying from a business sense. If you guys have noticed, I haven't missed a YouTube upload or a day on Instagram without a shit ton of reels in a while. And I'm not going to ever miss again. I am in the middle right now, because it is a tangent, but this is important. Right now, I am in the middle of blowing up on Instagram. I had to turn off my notifications because I have a video with 50,000, some crazy amount of likes at this point, like 50,000 likes in 2 days with like 500,000 views. I'm getting followed left and right, and I'm very appreciative to God. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but because I'm building out my triangle and I could feel it going, because I believed when I started that people would actually gain value from me, and I have the drive to do it even if people don't gain value from me. That created the energy to get everything done, which is also led in my actions and created the discipline to build the love that I am getting to. Do you guys see how what I'm going through now, how I used to go through this back in the day? When I first started the gym, the only thing I had was the drive. That's it. Or not even the drive. I would say the action. I had the action to tell myself I have time to go. It was right during the 2020 when things were closed, right? You remember? Can't say it out loud, but the action. I remember I said I have plenty of time. I am going to make sure that I do this every day. And if I don't do it now, I'll never get it done. So I have to do it. And I did it. I worked out every other day consistently for 2 hours at a time. No pre-workout, no music, no nice weights, no nothing. For a year and a half, I had the action. And then once I started to make a little bit of progress, I started to believe in myself a little bit. You understand? Which created the discipline. The discipline gave me I would call it the mindset almost, that this is part of my identity. This is who I'm becoming. right? And once I actually started to look in the mirror, have some muscles, when I started 2 years later, started actually getting into the gym finally, instead of working out here in my basement, bought a gym membership at Planet Fitness. I started looking in the mirrors at my biceps and my triceps. Damn, I'm pretty big, man. I'm actually getting some attention from girls. I'm getting people look me in the eye more. People ain't messing with me as much, trying to fight me and this and that, right? I started to build that drive. I started to become that dog. And after about 2 months of that, or 60 days of that, once my triangle was completed, I remember thinking to myself, I had an epiphany, and I said, damn, I will never, ever be a man who skips the gym, be a man who's lazy, ever again. I cracked the code, solved the matrix. And it wasn't until now that I actually formulated this, but once I combined all three of these things, I had the unwavering energy, the unbreakable discipline, in the constant consistency to never miss again. Because I built that true love. And what I'm building the love for now is relaying this to you guys through my content by authentically documenting my life and authentically giving you guys sauce here on YouTube. And if you really want to become somebody, if you really want to change your life, you should have this written down on a notebook right now. And if you don't, I don't know what you're doing. Either way, I appreciate you guys for watching. I love each and every one of you guys. I truly do, and that's why I do this. I don't do it for the money, even though I do coach people myself. That's not why I'm here. If you're interested in that, you know where to find me. I answer all my DMs here on Instagram, or there on Instagram, here on YouTube, whatever. But if there's one thing I do want you guys to do, I want you to like the video if you found it valuable. Subscribe to my channel. I post every single day and will not miss. You got my word. And on Instagram, you want to see the way I live, you want to see how I get shit done, get in the nitty gritty, I post on there every day too. So thank you guys for watching. God bless each and every one of you. Get to work and have an amazing rest of your day.